It's 1:24 in the morning, March 18th, 1990 in Boston, and two cops are standing at a museum side door. Except they're not cops. And in 81 minutes, they'll walk out with $500 million in art. No guns, no alarms, no chase. They just walk in and they vanish. 35 years later, nobody has been charged. Nothing has been found. And the museum still hangs the empty frames where the paintings used to be. I'm serious. Empty gold frames, still on the wall right now. This is the biggest unsolved art heist in history. And here's the part that'll bug you. The art is still out there, somewhere, tonight. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how easy it was, and why nobody can finish it. First, the place, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Isabella was a Boston millionaire who collected art like other people collect grudges. Rembrandts, a Vermeer, a Manet, Degas, the real museum-changing stuff. She left it all to the city, with one weird rule in her will. Nothing in the collection can ever be moved. Not one frame. Remember that. It matters more than you think. Now, the security. Honestly, it was a joke. One night, in 1990, the whole museum was guarded by two young men. Not security pros, just guys working a quiet shift. One of them was a music student who'd been in a band. And here's the thing about the most valuable art in America. It was protected by a buzzer, the kind on an apartment door. There was exactly one panic button that called the police. One, at the front desk. Don't leave it. That's basically the whole defense. A button and a rule. It's like locking your safe and taping the key to the front of it. So the door was basically on the latch. All anyone had to do was knock. And at 1:24 a.m., somebody did. Two men in Boston police uniforms stood at the side door. Fake mustaches, police-style hats, the whole costume. They buzzed the intercom and said the magic words. "We got a report of a disturbance. Let us in." Now the guard had a script for exactly this situation. Don't open the door for anyone. Ever. So naturally, he buzzed them right in. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed at how badly that went. Real cops don't ring the side buzzer and wait politely. That should have been the tell. Inside, the cops looked around and said, "Hey, you look familiar. There's a warrant out for your arrest. Come over here." And the guard, being a normal, slightly scared kid, walked over. Away from the desk. Away from the only panic button in the building. And just like that, the one thing that could have stopped them was out of reach. They slapped handcuffs on him. Then they got the second guard too, down to the basement, handcuffed to pipes, duct tape over their eyes and mouths. One of the thieves leaned in and said the quiet part out loud. "Don't worry, you'll be famous." He was right. We're literally talking about him right now. But here's the genuinely creepy part. There were no guns, no threats, no panic. They were calm, like they'd done this before. And then they did something nobody can explain to this day. For the next 81 minutes, the museum was theirs. 81 minutes is a long time to rob a place. Most robberies are over in 3. These guys ordered the deluxe package. First stop, the Dutch room. Upstairs, the crown jewels. On the wall hung Rembrandt's only seascape, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee. A boat in a storm, painted by one of the greatest who ever lived. One painting, worth around $140 million. So how do you steal a masterpiece off the wall? Carefully? No, they cut it, right out of the frame, with a knife. I want to be clear about how barbaric that is. It's like buying a sports car and ripping the engine out in the parking lot. They sliced 2 Rembrandts out the same way. Then they took the most valuable piece in the whole building. A Vermeer. The Concert. One of only 34 Vermeers on Earth. Today, it's the most valuable stolen object in the world. Around $250 million. $250 million. For one picture you could carry under your arm. Then they wandered. Degas sketches, a Manet, an old Chinese bronze cup, and weirdly, a little bronze eagle off the top of a flagpole. 13 works, all told. 13 pieces of history, gone. 13 pieces that, together, were worth more than most countries' entire art budgets. But here's the detail that haunts the whole case. The choices make no sense. They cut a priceless Rembrandt, but walked past an even more famous one. They grabbed a flagpole eagle, but left a Michelangelo drawing on the wall. It's like robbing a bank and taking the stapler. Experts have argued about it for decades. Were they amateurs? Or working off somebody's shopping list? Nobody knows. And then there's the Monet, which is its own little ghost story. The museum had motion detectors. They quietly recorded everything that night. And here's what they didn't tell you. The Monet was taken from a room downstairs, the Blue Room, but the sensors recorded no thief ever walking into it. None. The painting just left. And the only footsteps recorded in that room all night belonged to one of the guards on his earlier rounds. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. It's a real, unexplained gap in the record. The guard who buzzed them in was investigated for years. He was never charged with anything. He always said he was innocent. He died, still saying it, years later. So the Blue Room is just one more thing in this case that doesn't add up. Hey, quick thing while we're at the weird part. If you're enjoying this, subscribe, drop a like. It genuinely helps us dig up the next one. And stick around, because the wildest part of this story is how it ends, or doesn't. Okay, back to the heist, because they're still inside and they're about to leave. But first, they cleaned up. They walked into the security office and took the surveillance tapes and the motion detector printouts. Every record of where they'd walked. Gone. These were not panicking kids. They knew exactly what to erase. At 2:45 in the morning, they made 2 trips to a car outside, and then they were gone. 81 minutes, start to finish. $500 million of art in the back of a car into the Boston night. The guards stayed tied up in the basement until morning. When the day staff arrived, they found the frames empty. And here's where Isabella's weird rule comes back to bite everyone. Remember? Nothing in the collection can ever be moved. So the museum couldn't take the empty frames down. Legally, they're stuck, which means the most haunting memorial to a crime is just hanging there. Empty gold frames on the wall every single day for 35 years. Waiting, like the paintings might just walk back in. Now the FBI did not exactly sit on its hands. They chased this hard. For years they followed the trail into organized crime. The Boston mob, Philadelphia. And in 2013, they did something that should have cracked it wide open. They announced on the record that they knew who did it. They believed the thieves were known criminals, and the art had moved through Connecticut to Philadelphia, where someone tried to sell it. So they cracked it, right? They named the guys, made the arrests, got the art back? No. And this is the gut punch of the whole case. The men the FBI believed pulled it off were already dead. You can't arrest a ghost. You can't question a gravestone. And here's the cruelest part. They never named them publicly, so the case isn't really solved. It's just frozen. They think they know who took it. They have no idea where it went. The paintings vanished into a code of silence and never came back out, so the museum did the only thing it could. It put a price on the art's head, a reward, for information leading to the recovery. $10 million. $10 million. The largest reward ever offered by a private museum. No questions asked. Just bring the paintings home. That reward has been sitting there, unclaimed, for years. $10 million, free, and nobody can collect it. Think about what that means. Either the paintings are destroyed, or somebody is holding $500 million of art they can never sell. Because the second a stolen Vermeer hits the market, the whole world recognizes it. So they're worth $500 million and zero at the exact same time. So let's go back to the start. To those empty frames, remember the rule. The one I told you to remember? Nothing can ever be moved. It turned a robbery into something stranger. A permanent open wound on display. Those frames are not just decoration. They're an invitation. They're a question. And the honest, slightly maddening answer is, we still don't know. 2 men in cheap costumes beat the smartest investigators in the country. Not with genius. With a buzzer, a lie, and a guard who broke one rule. And somewhere, tonight, that Rembrandt and that Vermeer are sitting in the dark. In an attic. A basement. A warehouse. Nobody alive has seen them in 35 years. The frames are still waiting. The reward is still standing. And the case is still open. We've come a long way together. So thanks for watching this far. If this got you, hit like and subscribe, because there's always another one. Filed under, the door was open and nobody locked it. That's the archive for today.